Today we are going over this previous week's episodes of anime. I will be spoiling. Why? Because I'm talking about the episodes that actually aired during the week. If you haven't seen the episodes of the week, or you care about me spoiling them, skip to the end of the video and just look at how I rated them. If you're looking at me and you're like, wow, Joe, aren't you too old to have the happy birthday thing and the birthday balloon in the background? Well, you probably ever heard the phrase, happy wife, happy life, okay? When you're in a relationship, you want to make sure that the person that you're with feels appreciated, and when they do something nice for you, you act on it. She bought me the thing, so it goes in the background. And we wear it today, because today is, in fact, my birthday. So make sure you say happy birthday in the comments. Let me know how you would actually be doing your tier list, if it differs from my own. And that's pretty much it. So let's jump into it. Click the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel for more. We're going to be going over this week's past episodes of anime. And we're going to start off with the thing that we have not discussed at all yet, which is Twisted Wonderland. Twisted Wonderland, I have now seen 2 episodes of. Next week, I will be judging just episode 3 alone, but I'm judging specifically the first 2 episodes. It is interesting for sure, but also confusing. I think I've kind of got the basics of it, right? Dude does kendo. He got isekai'd into a world that's kind of Harry Potter-esque, but with a Disney flair. So instead of like Hufflepuff and Gryffindor and Slytherin and Ravenclaw, it's like houses that are based on villains from Disney movies. So like there's like a Hades house. It's not called Hades. They have different names. It's like Infernum or something, right? There's like a Hades house, an Ursula house, Scar, Queen of Hearts, the queen from Snow White, and then Maleficent and Jafar. Those are all the different ones that we've got here, okay? I don't really understand the motives of everyone. I don't really understand what's up with everybody. Our boy gets summoned here. He's breaking the rules. Don't really know what that means. He can't use magic, so he's not supposed to be here. Why was he summoned? We don't know. And we don't really understand the motivations of the characters themselves. Is it just to be the best student? I don't know. We don't really know. We don't really get that introduced to us. So I think the first 2 episodes were good. Certainly not great, certainly not peak. It looks good, beautifully animated, but I don't understand what the fuck the story is. I don't get it. So I'm gonna throw it good when I can finally understand what the hell's going on. I mean, they've introduced a few things, they've teased a few things, right? But they haven't really told us what's going on. Brother making its mid debut for 2 weeks in a row. Or not debut, I guess this is a second week in mid. That newest episode of the Assassin anime was also kind of mid. The pacing on it is so all over the place and weird. The first half of the episode felt good. Like, I think that they were doing everything right. But the second half of the episode was like, wait, what the fuck? The direction choice, the cutting out content choices, and like the overall feel of the anime is it just feels weird. And I think that that's because of the pace of it and the choices that they've made removing content. Things just don't flow right when I'm watching this show. I'm very much confused by it. So mid once again, unfortunately. Chitose is in the Ramune bottle. Now this episode of Chitose finally like made me realize how much of a romance light novel this series is. If you have ever watched an anime adaptation of a romance light novel, you notice, or at least this is what I've noticed so far from them, is how clever characters are and the banter that they have. There's a lot of banter within romance light novels that are adapted into anime. I've seen it happen with like 4 or 5 different light novels adapted into anime when they're romance light novels. I do like that they've added, like, they have these little mini story elements, right? So previously it was dealing with Kenta, and now it's dealing with the girl who's like being stalked, even though I gave my opinions on it. I don't think it's that. I think it's the bully girl trying to bully her, and she's like making it seem like she's being stalked and stuff. But where do I put it overall? Where do I put this episode? I thought the episode was great. It's somewhere in here between great and good. And I think that because the episode introduced us to a new, like, smaller plot line. So obviously I think the main plot line is kind of like romance for Chitose, and also maybe Chitose finally feeling more about himself than he does, right? Because I think that he's kind of down on himself to an extent, and I think that that's going to be a part of it as well, right? We saw how he could bring up Kenta. Now we're going to see how everyone else brings him up, and maybe he starts to have that confidence. Even though he does have confidence, it's almost like a fake confidence. It's a mask that he wears. They discuss masks as well. But I like that they've got a new storyline here. It's interesting, and I thought that there was comedy, and I would love to see a romance there. And yeah, I thought it was a great episode, kind of in the great to good territory. The next up, Campfire cooking in another world. They just move through layers of the dungeon. They defeat the dungeon boss, and honestly, delicious looking food, kind of helping out other parties. I think it was also a great episode. I think I liked it more than the Chitose one. I think that last episode and the episode prior were maybe some of my favorite episodes of the show up to this point, because it is giving a bigger, like, delicious in dungeon vibe, which I think was a great anime, and it's kind of reminding me of that. So I really enjoyed that. Uma. I have no clue what's coming in the next episode, because it looks like Oguri is done. And basically they're doing the Japan Cup. The horses are getting abused by the foreign horses. The Japanese horses are. You know, Tamamo's getting tossed around. Oguri's getting tossed around. Oguri is out of it. She is gassed. She is abused. And I just really don't want to see a non-Japanese horse win. Especially not Michelle, my baby, my big boy. You know, if Obey Your Master wins, okay. They kind of give off that, like, scheming, like, manipulative sort of character. So I kind of get it. But I would rather have, like, Tamamo win or Oguri. Oguri's supposed to have, like, made a deal with the trainer. Like, she would run pace under this condition. But we didn't get to find out what that was. So we'll see what it is. We'll see. And I thought that this most recent episode of the show was great. I thought it was great. I think next episode is going to be peak. I absolutely loved when Michelle, my baby, is trying to yap at Oguri, and Oguri's like, I don't know English. I thought that was hilarious. It might have been the funniest thing in all anime this week. It was absolutely hilarious. That shit made my day. Just a very enjoyable moment. So yeah, great episode as well. I might end up dropping down the Chitose one. We'll see. Yo, peak of the week, the best episode of the week. Best episode of the week, One Piece. One Piece was the best episode this week. Why? All of the reveals and information and discussion of Joy Boy, discussion of the Void Century, discussion of the manipulation of the entire world by the world government. Oh my God, this episode was amazing. It was absolutely phenomenal. You know, we get to see the what Vegapunk did. Vegapunk fueled a weapon. He created a fuel source that can be used to power a dangerous weapon that might end the fucking world. Like, there were so many interesting moments and so many interesting things that we learned throughout that episode. It was absolutely amazing. I love One Piece so much, and it's just beautiful to see it return. Will it hold on to its place here? Maybe. Maybe not, because once again this week we had another peak episode from My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia, they are trying to shoot a load of power and quirk into this man, Shigaraki, to bust open his chussy and defeat him. They're trying to break through his emotional barriers, and they're almost there, man. They're almost there. That's what they're testing now. You know, the danger sense has been taken. Listen, dude, I kind of gave my theory on the whole, like, danger sense thing. Oh, now he's not going to be, you know, he's not going to suspect something bad. They're going to be able to unleash an attack, or Deku's going to be able to unleash an attack on Shigaraki, because danger sense is going to go, oh yeah, that's not a danger. So it's not going to go off. He's going to rely on the danger sense. And if the danger sense isn't going off, then why should he be worried? I imagine that that's going to happen at some point, but Deku's still not giving up. We also got more interesting stuff on backstory of, like, number 2 and All for One, One for All, and and Shigaraki's trying to destroy everything. He wants to destroy the entire island of Japan. Bro is crazy. Good episode, very enjoyable. Peak episode. Just the lore drop was insane in One Piece. So that's where it rests. Next up, the Yano-kun episode was also great. Great episode of Yano-kun. I absolutely enjoyed it. It was awesome. So entertaining throughout. I thought it was just adorable. I love how this man Yano learns what love is through shoujo manga, and then with zero embarrassment, full confidence, is displaying his love for Yoriko, right? Yoriko, I think her name is? Yoshida, fuck. But I love that he basically just says that he likes her. And he feels zero embarrassment. I thought it was really, really cute. And I think that some dating might come soon. But also, he might not understand, like, the dating aspect of things. Like, he might be like, oh, yeah, I like her. But he might not understand dating. He might just be like, I like you, and I want these things that we do to continue. I didn't know that we were supposed to start dating. That's quite possible. But that was really cute that they both said that they liked each other. So that was great. Another great episode. Loved it. Next up, Spy Family. Peak. Spy Family, I was going to actually have over My Hero this week until we got the One Piece episode. Like, the One Piece episode kind of like defeated Spy Family, but Spy Family, interesting as fuck. It was kind of crazy because in this week's Spy Family episode, Yor becomes friends with Donovan Desmond's wife. And in becoming friends with Donovan Desmond's wife, she now has a connection to the Desmonds further. I think it's sus, the whole thing. I think Donovan is manipulating his wife, not allowing his wife to love their kids. And also, I think that when Yor goes to the garden to tell the guy, the caretaker or whatever, and slips up and says how interested in the party Lloyd is, oh, that's gonna lead to some things. There's a ripple effect coming from that. Huge episode, absolutely loved it. A peak episode. I liked it more than the My Hero one. Next up, listen, can I just be honest with you? I don't know how much longer I'm gonna continue with Dusk Beyond the End of the World. I don't think I care about it. It honestly might be getting dropped. It might be getting dropped. It is the show that I think I least care about. You know, PA Works loves to do an original series every once in a while. They love throwing out an original, seeing what sticks. And this one is not sticky enough for me. I just don't really, it's the one that I'm least interested in. Admittedly, Assassin's been kind of ass recently, these last two episodes, but I give Assassin the benefit of the doubt because it's an isekai in my community. It just loves isekais, so they're all watching this shit on Patreon. It is what it is. Gachiakuta. This week's episode of Gachiakuta, we got to see the backstory of Zanka. Okay, so we got the backstory of Zanka, where he comes from. He literally comes from like the Japan trash land, and beyond where he comes from, his motivations, the people that have been better than him, and we think bro's about to turn the fuck up, just to find out, no, he's hallucinating. Jabberwonger actually beat his ass. And now it could end up flipping. I don't know, next episode he might actually like turn up, but it feels like he lost. It really does. It's disappointing, and we'll have to see as we continue watching what the fuck is coming, man. It's just, damn. Oh, also one interesting thing was how Onesie Girl showed up at the egg with the hands and the weapons in it. What is up with that? That was sus. Very sus stuff going on here. The arc is intriguing for sure. And I like that we're starting to learn more about characters. Even we got introduced to how like Zanka first meets Engine. So that was really cool. Oh, where would I place it? Where would I place it? The plot twist of him actually not breaking out, peak. But honestly, I might go great on this one. Yeah, I think overall, a great episode. More backstory heavy. Less of the stuff that's going on right now. And honestly, it might even be worth enough going into peak solely off of the Jabberwonger laughing with Zanka in that crazy moment. What the fuck was that? That was crazy. It honestly might be enough to be in peak. Genosha, we got more sussiness in Genosha. And we learned of Setsu also going back in time and stuff. Very interesting. So Setsu goes back in time through the timelines different from how Yuri is doing it. Like the 100th loop for Setsu could be the 5th loop for Yuri, and then 101 for Setsu could be like 20 loops before Yuri ever like gets the looping ability. And then 102 for Setsu is like the 50th loop for Yuri. Like, it's all over the place with that. Very interesting, a little confusing for people that might not understand it, but hopefully I am able to explain that enough to where you can understand. But that was intriguing. The fact that the goal right now with the loops are a way for this entity to study humans. And that's right now what's going on. They're trying to study humans. So the goal is not actually winning. It's just gaining information. The goal is surviving through the rounds to gain as much information on everyone. A lot less stakes now, to be honest. You might think that, but what if the Genosha is actually not the real enemy here and it's these loops? And that's something more that we're going to find out as we continue to learn information on the individuals, the humans, to teach the looping entity. We start to find out that the looping entity is actually way, way worse than the Genosha. But I felt like it was very interesting. And I do think you're kind of right in the stakes changing. I don't know how much lower the stakes are, but I do believe the stakes have changed. That is for sure. We'll see as we keep on watching, but that was a peak episode, man. I really enjoyed Genosha a ton. Sanda was a wild episode. We found out that Ono dipped. She ran away. She wasn't kidnapped or anything. She ran away because she hit puberty. And you can't hit puberty. That's like a bad thing. We also found out like the kids are not supposed to be sleeping because sleeping makes them get older. So they literally just lay in bed, which is so fucking weird. We find out that Ono has a crush on Fuyumura because Fuyumura is kind of like androgynous and stuff, right? It's like, I guess to her, yeah, she just like can't tell the difference. So she's like, oh, well, you know, could be either way. But yeah, Ono is like becoming an adult and Fuyumura is not like shunning her, which obviously not a good idea when it comes to the headmaster. And he saw the whole thing. So what the fuck's gonna happen? Ooh, I do not know. But that is, it is looking scary. And I think this episode was also peak. It was a little weird because, you know, I think Ono was trying to get in Fuyumura's pants. That was a little weird. But outside of that, you know, it was just a very interesting episode. I think that we got a lot of interesting information on this episode, and specifically with like Ono and Fuyumura, a lot of Fuyumura time. Also, we got to meet Kazao, basically his arranged marriage fiance, and she is charming, you know, a little crazy, definitely super impulsive, but charming. One Punch Man. Let's talk about the episode of One Punch Man. Again, kind of a nothing happens sort of episode. It was nice to see Gato beat the shit out of Bro's name is Bro. Beat the shit out of Ripper. But I will say, there were certainly some moments. There were certainly some very long-held shots and not as much action. A lot of talking, kind of like what's to come. This one was not as good as the last episode. I think it also had its funny moments, but this one's kind of in the mid to good, where like last week, I felt wholeheartedly it was good last week. 100%. It was good. This week, it's kind of like floating in between the two. And I could see it as like bottom good, top mid. Honestly, enjoyed the episode, I think, more than the Assassin anime. So I'm gonna put it in good. It's somewhere here. I'll see how the list shakes up as we keep on going. But I'm kind of willing to put it in the good territory. I think that there is kind of like a chasm between, not a chasm, but there is a gap for sure between Twisted Wonderland and One Punch Man's episode. Actually, there might not be as big of a gap as I think. Because again, the story of Twisted Wonderland, I still don't fucking understand. I don't know what the hell's happening. The animation is far superior in Twisted Wonderland, though. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it in good. I think good territory is where it deserves to be. I think it was better than the Assassin episode. That's for sure, in my opinion. Maybe you disagree. Next week, we will be talking about Tatsuki Fujimoto's 17 to 26, so keep that in mind. But we're still going over this week's stuff. Next up, let's talk about A Wild Last Boss Appeared, okay? In this episode of A Wild Last Boss Appeared, Dina truly cemented herself as sus. I think that's the thing that really stands out the most in this one. Dina is very, very sus. I mean, there have been moments for sure, but like even more so now. I thought it was a good episode. I don't think it was great or anything. Probably the top of the goods. Good episode. You know, Luffy defeats the Libra. You know, now Libra's part of the crew. We're just collecting all these disciples, the zodiac signs. We're collecting all of them. Next up, Fated Magical Princess. I think she's finally recognizing that she is changing the timeline, which is so important. Also another good episode. I think that that's awesome, that she is finally realizing how much she is changing the timeline, which is great, because damn it, she needed to realize this shit. She was just gonna keep on going and just not recognize that she's like making a difference. Like, what are you doing? You're just gonna, you have to be aware of these things, aware of how you change it. Otherwise, you ain't going nowhere. We also see more of a connection between Jeanette and Ezekiel, which was interesting. Oh yeah, Lucas called Jeanette a chimera. What the fuck? That was very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I might even put this one over Last Boss Appeared. I thought that was good. I might even bump it into great territory. I might have to think about it for sure. Also, I think going forward, I might get rid of this best tier and just make a peak, great, good, fine, mid. I might do that. Should we do that now? That's better. This is what I'm gonna do. From now on, we're gonna do the tiers like this. Peak, great, good, fine, mid. Whatever's at this first spot right here, that's the best of the week. Okay? And I think this is more accurate to how I feel. Yeah. Genosha's peak. Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. Ooh, Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. This week's episode, we take on an actual monster. First off, the Kamen Riders beat the shit out of the Shockers. Beat the shit out of them. Easily. Then the monster shows up. Monster absolutely bodying everyone, though now we've been introduced to our Rider Man. Just the brother of, I forgot, Mitsuba? Mitsuba, I think is the name of the character. He is now Rider Man, you know? And so now I'm learning about Rider Man. Rider Man was the next Kamen Rider after V3. And so it kind of makes sense that he's the brother. We still don't have like a second Kamen Rider. Don't know who that is. We've got a first, we got a third, and we got a fourth. Don't have a second, but we do have tech. So that's our crew right now. They're taking on the monster, and that monster is strong. I'm very interested in seeing how this goes. Will they actually end up creating something that they can really use in order to truly take on the monster? Because the monster's a different ball game from the Shockers. Also, Mitsuba confesses to his girlfriend, says he's gonna marry her. Things are just getting wild. It is a wild action comedy. Through and through, a wild action comedy, funny and full of action. And I enjoyed it, man. Another great episode. Another great episode. I think somewhere in this realm. I think I'm gonna go great on this one. That was a great episode. It truly was. Next up, level 9999. They beat up the praying mantis. We found out that the elves are using humans for tests, which is not surprising. They treat humans like shit in this world. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what else happened. I don't think it was very noteworthy. I think the episode was fine. It was fine, you know? Honestly, it might have been a mid episode, dude. I think it was better than these two, though. So I would be hard pressed calling it mid, because I think it was better than these two. So I'm gonna leave it in the fine category. Not really much happened. Some banter between Gold and, you know, I mean, he gave an item, a bracelet to the little girl, so hopefully she is protected if these elves try to go after her. He went back to the crib. Maybe not much happened. Twisted, posting today or tomorrow? Last one on the 30th. We're posting it today. You can post it today. It's a Wednesday anime. I just didn't watch it until Thursday last week. That's all. Yeah, it was fine. To Your Eternity. Our boys in school now. Tonari. So I think one big thing in To Your Eternity, I think they kind of mentioned knockers were gonna, there's like maybe a 2.0 knockers that are like aren't as identifiable by the Man in Black and Fushi, which is really interesting. And right now, Bon and the mother, the Hayase mother, are trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. I think that that's what's going on so far. She can't get back into her body. Something else is inside of her body possessing it. We're assuming it's like a 2.0 knocker. Yeah, the black freaking cloak guy still not showing up. The god not showing up. Very weird that he's not showing up, by the way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. It's very intriguing. We're gonna have a new enemy coming soon, I'm sure. And for the time being, we just gotta figure out what the fuck is going on. Why can people not die? And why can't they get her into a body? It's like her soul has been like replaced. And what has the power to do that? That's a very interesting part of things. But I thought it was a good episode, man. I thought it was a good episode. I think that there's Still a lot more to be desired from it. Like, we got some interesting stuff, but still good nonetheless. All right, next up, may I ask for one final thing, okay? May I ask for one final thing? All right, so in this week's one final thing, right, we find out a connection between this Saint Diana. We learn about Saint Diana, right? That Saint Diana is literally like just the current Saint Diana, but like it stems from a lore of a different Saint Diana that set up the barrier, ended up dying, replaced by a different Diana who ended up reestablishing the barrier. And ever since then, they've been, anytime there's like this very powerful, capable enchanter girl, they give her the name Diana, and she fixes the barrier and like maintains this shit. And that's what our current Diana is, who I guess revealed this secret to our main character at some point, because they're super close. They're like super duper tight, which did feel a little weird how just like tight they were. A little weird. We also find out that this Saint Diana doesn't have her powers. I mean, that was like the main, I think that was the big parts of the episode. Of course, there are other parts of the episode as well, right? Like we find out that there's like a very capable knight there who is able to recognize that our girl's not someone to be fucked with, right? But he seems capable. The dickhead church guy gets blasted away. The one that's part of the other side, not the Diana side, but the other side. The parade's interrupted, and it's very obvious that like the Pomeranians, that's what I was calling them, right? I forgot what their actual thing is called, but they are trying to fuck with the Diana side of things. Will they be successful? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think it was also a good episode. I think so. I think it was a good episode. I think that I put it probably like right here. Lastly, we've got Ranma. This episode was the delivery episode. They're all like fighting to deliver this thing because they will get food from it, in Ranma's case. It's also like a level of like kind of trying to get away from or secure the marriage aspect, right? Like Shampoo and her grandmother always trying to lock down Ranma, right? Ranma's just trying to gain things for himself. Obviously loves Akane. And they gotta deliver food to the kendo guy. It's pretty much it. Kind of just like a wacky little, what kind of shenanigans are we gonna get into today episode? I could put it in the same like good category, you know? And that's it. That is the tier list. This is the way it breaks down. My personal best episode of the week, One Piece. And if it wasn't for this One Piece episode, I might have given it to Spy Family because it was very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. This connection between Yor and the Desmond wife. Very interesting. We got some things brewing in My Hero, also peak. My Hero has finally been replaced for the top of the tier list, and it's now One Piece at the moment. We'll see how long that continues. I'm excited for pretty much everything's new episodes, right? Like, I want to see more from Twisted Wonderland because I have no clue what the hell's happening there. I want to see more from this current story arc in Chitose. Very interesting. Want to see more dungeon exploration and food made in Campfire cooking. The love is really blossoming in Yano-kun. I want to see how this Japan Cup turns out. I want to see all the different fights. We know what happened with Zanka and Jabber, but what's going to happen to everybody else? Sanda, what's going to happen as a result of adulthood, you know? Want to continue learning about the characters in Genosha. Want to continue seeing our Kamen Riders beat the shit out of their enemies. And hopefully we see a step up from the bottom 4 anime of this week, in my opinion. I think I'm dropping Dusk Beyond the End of the World. I think I'm dropping it. I don't really care about it. I don't really care about the characters. I don't connect with this show really. It's just kind of mid. I don't know. PA works, you know, sometimes they make a great original anime and then sometimes they do one that I just don't give a shit about. And I think that is the case with Dusk Beyond the End of the World. So that I think will be dropped. Hopefully Assassin takes a step up. It needs it. I'm sure the next episode of Backstabbing and Backwater Dungeon will be much better than this one because not really much was happening, but it feels like it was setting up a lot. And then One Punch Man, I thought it was fine. Not as good as last week's episode. Last week's episode I thought was hilarious. This one had its funny moments, but it really leaned into the yap. And damn it, sometimes it's tough to stare at one screen for so long. What'd you guys think about this week? Where would you put everything this week? What was your best anime of the week? And I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel for more. Till next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.